I'm leaving.
So Tom is an archaeologist who finds ancient artifacts and sells them, which means that he and his wife Vanessa have to live in the desert, and she hates it.
We're going. First thing in the morning. As soon as the shippers come for this stuff.
Anyway, he's discovered artifacts from an obscure ancient Native American tribe, and he thinks he's hit the jackpot.
These people lived hundreds, thousands of years ago. And then the whole tribe just disappeared, without a trace.
Nobody wears turquoise anymore.
Honey, do you have any idea what my dealers will pay me for a piece like this? I paid those Indians $16 for the whole basket full. This piece belonged to an ancient Indian princess.
Sure it did.
I want you to have it.
Has it ever occurred to you that once in a while, just once, I might like something that hasn't been used?
So basically, husband has a money-making method that is at least unethical, if not illegal, and wife has unfulfilled dreams of getting rich and pretty much cares only about that. Neither of them have any respect for the people they're profiting off of. Pretty obvious where this is going.
I think I hear our ship coming in.
An old lady shows up and delivers a creepy-looking statue.
It is Masao, god of death. It is from the Kachinas. Our lost tribe, the Kachinas.
She explains that this god demanded a sacrifice, otherwise there would be no rain.
It was Masao's bargain. Death for life. A necessary balance.
I'll give you $20 for it. Buy a lot of nachos for $20.
Yikes.
Thousands of years ago, on this very ground, my people lived and prospered from horizon to horizon, a sea of grass.
This actress is putting everything she can into this role, and I'm totally here for it.
Historians, they tell of our sudden disappearance. They scratch their heads and say, where did they all go?
She's easily the best character in this episode. Granted, that's not saying much, but still.
Masao knows. Wherever Masao walks, nothing remains but stone and dust. Perhaps the rains will come.
That sounds a little like a threat to me. That statue is so creepy. I can't wait until it comes to life.
And then we'll sail to Jamaica or some tropical island where the economy's collapsing. Being waited on hand and foot by the natives and buying up all their heirlooms.
Boy, the white privilege shit just never ends with these two, does it?
And when crops fail, people get hungry. And sooner or later, they're as happy as pigs in mud just to sell you their family treasures for a song.
So they hear a noise and come to find that the mask, the most valuable artifact, broken in half, right in front of the statue. Eventually it completely crumbles into dust. Of course, they think someone broke in and did it, but don't find anyone.
I'll sue the whole Indian nation. I'll sue the federal government for allowing them to live in this country.
When is this guy gonna die?
All right, honey, why don't you go to bed?
Later that night, or maybe the next night, Vanessa has run out of moisturizer. We've seen her use it a lot.
You homely looking thing. I'll be glad when you're not here to watch every move I make.
So she gets more in the bathroom. Yeah, it was pretty predictable that the statue was going to move at some point, but that was still pretty creepy. And here we go. Damn! It was disturbing enough to look at when the eyes were closed. Okay, it's just fucking with her at this point. She goes to wake up Tom, but he ignores her. And now she realizes that her skin is suddenly and rapidly drying out. Priorities. You couldn't at least grab the moisturizer and run out the door with it? I guess it's too late for that now because she seems to be having a hard time moving. Holy shit, that thing is terrifying. I'm disappointed that the statue has a more neutral expression. I really wanted to see her immortalized like this. Tom finally gets up, finds the statue of the god missing.
Vanessa, open the door.
Hard to tell if he figures out what happened to her or not. and he finds that the rest of the artifacts have become dust. Looks like his face isn't faring too well either.
You're not supposed to move your statue.
Ah, that's the line of the episode right there.
You want me to leave?
Seriously? How hard could it be to hit that thing? Oh man, can you imagine this thing being the last thing you see before you die? Anyway, he eventually becomes a statue as well. The next day, the old lady returns, as does the rain. And so ends Rain Dance. This episode isn't that good. It's basically the plot of Fool's Gold. Ignorant person tries to take advantage of a force they don't understand to get rich quick and then get their comeuppance. But more of an attempt at wokeness, which I would be fine with if it was done well. I like the idea of this type of ignorant white person getting what's coming to them. But this is just not a good episode. I enjoyed the old woman hamming it up, but the two main characters were cliche and boring, and the actors weren't particularly good. I did like the design of the statue, though. It's just creepy even before it starts moving. And then once you see its eyes, holy crap. Kudos to whoever designed this thing. It's very effective. I just wish it was in a better episode. No one of any real note was in this one either. All character actors, but Vanessa was played by Terry Copley, who is in a show called We Got It Made, which I barely remember watching when I was a little kid. According to her Wikipedia page, she did some nudes for Playboy, and then eventually became a born-again Christian and phased out her acting career. Just thought that was kind of interesting to learn. That's about all there is to say about this one, so have another episode. So this woman, Madeline, was in a terrible car accident, yet somehow has no serious injuries other than having amnesia.
She was crushed between the door and the steering wheel. It took 2 hours to pry her out. I've never seen tissue behave like this before.
She was carrying $5,000 in cash along with some diamonds at the time, and there's no way to identify her.
To put it bluntly, we're just not comfortable having her here under these conditions.
So the doctor is asking this detective, Richard, to find out whatever he can about her. He ends up trying multiple ways to dig up some kind of info, but doesn't find anything. So he goes to a psychic he knows, Sarah, who is also his girlfriend.
Department wants to drop her. The woman's in a tight spot. She's incredibly rich, Sarah. She wants to pay you.
Sounds like exploitation to me.
I care about you, Sarah.
Why is this guy so creepy?
I could quit the force, and then we could spend all our time together.
I'd take that as a threat if I were her. Being in the hospital sure hasn't damaged Madeline's perfectly crimped 80s hair. Anyway, Richard brings Sarah to meet her.
It's so strange. You look inside, grope for a name, an image.
It turns out that not only does she have amnesia and can't remember anything, she's plagued with a nagging feeling that one of the things she can't remember is life or death, hence why she's desperately trying to remember.
You said you've helped the police before. What can you do for me?
Ah, the Johnny Smith approach. But neither method gets her anything, until she picks up a comb. There's still time! She thinks that Madeline might be an actress due to how she's dressed, and she gets that this man's name is Malcolm.
Here. Try again.
Well, okay, that got interesting. Later, she finds out that the man, Malcolm, disappeared 60 years ago, and somehow she thinks that Madeline killed him.
He loved her and she did something horrible to him. That man loved her and she used him and she hurt him like his love was nothing at all.
I feel like you're focusing on the wrong thing here. Did you forget about the cocoon with the body in it already?
Maybe, Madeline's great-grandmother was a homicidal maniac and she did this Reinhardt in.
Richard is naturally skeptical and suggests she try again.
Come on. It's the last big chance.
Why is he so fucking creepy? He goes to visit Madeline and... I swear to God, he's like a serial killer. I don't think I'm supposed to be afraid for Madeline in this scene.
She's told you things that don't make sense, hasn't she, Richard? And now you don't know what to think.
She's worried about what might be coming, so after finding out that he and Sarah aren't all that committed, she asks for his protection.
You want a bodyguard?
No. Some personal.
Possibly among other things.
I'll share everything with you. Just promise me you'll get me through this.
And he doesn't waste any time delivering on those other things. Later that night, Sarah returns to the hospital room and...
Who are you?
gets some interesting visions.
What are you?
You tell me.
She's smart about it and doesn't let Madeline in on what she's discovering about her.
You're so special, Sarah.
But Madeline is pretty smart too and brings Richard into it.
Tell me what I need to know and I'll let you keep him. But keep playing this stupid game and he's mine.
Who do you think you are?
Along with other threats.
In time, with or without your help, I will remember who I am. And whatever it is I do that terrifies you so much, I will get out of here and I will do it again and again and again.
Finally, Sarah looks into her mind again and sees a continuation of the first vision. She cuts off a piece of her hair and somehow uses it to weave a cocoon around her victim and herself, where she consumed his life force. Apparently this is how she's managed to be immortal.
What was it?
You can go to hell.
Don't. Sarah, don't.
Later she conveys this to Richard,
She isn't human, not anymore. Her power is in her hair.
that she has to consume someone every lifetime, and her time in this one is running out.
That's what she uses the men for. She tricks them into loving her, and then she lures them inside with her, and she drains them. She won't hurt anyone ever again.
Now, did you hurt Madeline?
Well, that was smart. He just triggered a vision of his evening with Madeline.
If you're so worried, why don't you just go see your little fox for yourself?
Oh my, what have you done, Sarah? So Richard goes to see Madeline and...
Oh, God.
notice that she has no hair.
Only me, I like this.
Because Sarah cut it all off and took it, along with the money.
I'm not angry with you, Richard. Really. I'm grateful. But show me that you love me, Richard. Let me hold you.
What? I'm not sure how I feel about the twist for this one. I do like Sarah getting both of them, hell hath no fury and all that. But after all of her posturing about how horrible Madeline is, I don't think I like her using that power herself. It's possible that she only ever used it on Richard, but it could be addictive or something for all we know. She may have just killed one monster to create another one. Then again, maybe that's the kind of shock ending they were going for. I don't know, this episode is weird. I don't dislike it though. It had a decent mystery and was interesting seeing it unfold. Also, this is a rare case where we don't get some kind of monster design. When we first see the vision of the cocoon, it looks like some kind of creature is inside it, but I think that's just the body of the guy that Madeline consumed. Much as I like having a cool monster design to gawk at, I also like the idea that a monster can come in any package, even one that's deceptively attractive. Unless you want to count how Madeline looks at the end, but it's really just old age makeup. It looks very good, but I wouldn't really call it a monster design per se. Richard was played by Billy Drago, who hasn't been in anything I've seen, but apparently he tends to play villains. Big surprise. He was a bad casting choice for this role in my opinion. In any case, he was a regular on both Briscoe County Jr. and Charmed. And that's about all I have to say about this one. There are definitely worse Monsters episodes, but there are better ones too. Next up is All in a Day's Work. See you then.
Why can't you do something respectable like Bill?
So he's on trial for insider trading. He's a criminal.
He's a white-collar criminal.